All right. Hello, everybody. Excuse me. Happy Thursday. I hope you all are having a great week. And it looks like some people are having really warm weather and some people are having snow today. So hope you're all staying safe and, looking out and enjoying the beauty and whatever is going on with you. But I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and I want to welcome you to our Thursday week 10 design reveal. So today we are going to make a lariat necklace, and we are going to design it for a friend. So we'll talk through how that's going to go. I don't think I have any other announcements, although the new copper bunny kits, they're copper and white, right, are on the website. If you're interested in them, I only have, 10 kits minus the ones that have already been claimed. They are limited edition, and it's various parts on either one of the bunnies that requires it to be limited edition. Anyways, but those are available, the pair of them, for $15. And if you want to order directly from me, just send me a direct message and let me know that you're interested in the newest bunny kit. Bunnies have to multiply, so we come up with new ones all the time. And if you're interested in any of the older color, the clear bunnies, any of those things, I have those kits available as well. So, and if you got them the first year, they're not the same color as we did last year, so the colors are a little different. There's some similarities, but yeah, some of them are different. Nothing else to announcement. I'm starting to enjoy my staycation since my vacation got canceled. I was supposed to be in Egypt today, walking around the pyramids and going for a camel ride. So I'm missing out on that, but hopefully at some point in the future I will be able to do that. But it's not really the best time to be over there. So it is what it is, and I am here, and I am looking forward to making this project with you. And so let's go ahead and flip the camera over and start making this necklace that we're doing. All right, let me move those off to the side a little bit. All right, let's zoom in a little bit because I want you guys to be able to see what we're doing. All right, so just a reminder what we're supposed to make today. We are making a lariat necklace. All right. And we have to use a single to multi-strand connector in our design. So let me dump my little basket here and see what we've got here. So I am using, for that particular part of it, hey Lorraine, I am going to use a chandelier earring piece. So, it's a single to multi-strand connector. Just because it says it's a chandelier piece doesn't mean it has to be used as an earring, right? All right, we're going to use wire wrapping. So I've got my wire handy. All right. And then we have to use burgundy. So we have a couple of, hey Janelda, thanks for joining me. So for burgundy's kind of a, I don't know, it can be a tough one to find. Like I said before, Mookite has a lovely burgundy color. I did pull out a strand that I had, but we're not going to use today. But so there's a lot of shades of what I would consider burgundy in this strand. But we're not using that today. What we are going to use is I have some I honestly don't know what this stone is. It's probably just some dyed jade. But it's kind of a burgundy color, so we're going to throw those in. And then we are also going to use some Devil's Tooth, or was it? Oh, Dragon's Blood Jasper. Okay, so this has some nice, it's a green stone, but it has some nice, I don't know if you guys can see that color maybe. I need to brighten up my, let's see if we can make it a little brighter. Maybe you can see better. But there's some burgundy and kind of greenish tones to this stone. Yeah, lighting, it's horrible in here today. Let me see if I can shine, maybe if I shine a flashlight directly on it. Can't get it lined up under my, but anyways, there's the Dragon's Blood part is a burgundy, so there you go. It's kind of a pretty stone, so we're gonna use that. Those are our two burgundy things. And this stone also, I have it in a couple different forms here. Also have some heishis that are, at least they're small rondelles. I guess they're not technically heishis that are in that same stone. And I'm partly using that because I have to design something for a friend. So I'm using a friend in Colorado. And the stone, Emeronica, is actually, at least this strand was mined in Colorado. So that's where we're getting that from. And like I said, we got a little burgundy in there. Then I've got a bunch of other assorted parts. I was just trying to match some stuff up with that stone. All right, so we are going to be creating something here. So, you know, when I think of lariat necklaces, and I don't think I have one handy here. So we'll use this as an example, but you know, so I think of a lariat as needing to have some sort of loop and then something hanging down, and ideally, you know, this being kind of adjustable. All right. So hopefully you can get the idea. So think of a, you know, kind of a lasso, you know, that you would use to rope a cow at the rodeo, right? That's kind of the design we're going for. All right, so I have some assortment of things here. I have a couple different loops. I hadn't decided if I was going to use the smaller one or the large one, so we'll see on that. And then I have a lobster clasp here because sometimes it's nice to be able to hold your, you know, hold it in place wherever you happen to be. And then I was going through some beads and I found this kind of disc bead, very heavy. It's pewter. But I just thought, I don't know, I want to use that. It's a little quirky. So I'm gonna dangle some stuff off of here, and then I thought I would also do some wire wrapping on whatever chain I use, so that the chain isn't just plain. We're gonna add a little color to it. So technically, I have three holes to work with in my multi-attachment. I don't have to use all three of them, but I think I am going to. So I was thinking I would hang this, the disc down, and then, you know, maybe hang some stones to go with it. It's gonna be a little funky today, so the question is whether I need any spacers or anything to go with some of these other stones. I hadn't made up my mind. I don't know how long I want to make my dangle, but I could certainly add a burgundy stone, sort of burgundy. Didn't quite match, but let's see, we also have some green, which I thought worked pretty well. You know, I could do green something. I don't know. What do you guys think? It has some bigger green beads. I also have silver spacers. A lot of different textures here, but and then I was thinking like some of these little rondelles I would put in the chain. So I actually have a couple different kinds of chain laid out here, because one of the things I wanted to show you is I'm going to use chain to hang this so it can hang sideways. Now I could put wire through the middle and bend it up and make a loop, but sometimes chain is kind of fun and it gives it more movement. But I'm probably going to wire wrap the other pieces. Okay. Think about that. I could do something like that. I don't think I want something quite that thick though. So I went hiking yesterday, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time thinking this through. That and I was putting together all our bunny kits. So if you didn't hear me at the beginning, I only have 10 of the bunny kits currently, and that before I subtract, I know both Janelle and Lorraine have expressed interest, so I will be invoicing for those today because I want to get them out to you guys in plenty of time before Easter. All right, so I was thinking of using a smaller chain because it has fit through the middle of the disc here, and then we're just going to hang it from that chain, and it gets, you know, it can swing around, and I'm going to hang that from the center of the loop. Now I want it long enough, you know, that I can have the other beads kind of hanging above it, I think. That's probably long enough. All right. So maybe cut that here. I don't know if you guys ever work with discs and hanging them with chain. I've done it a couple times. I think this is stainless. I guess I should use my heavier cutters. I have some glass disc beads that I've used to make earrings out of that are just, you know, dangling using chain. It's kind of a fun design. So let's get a jump ring out. And I'm gonna open my jump ring. Remember, when we open our jump ring, we twist it open. All right, so let's put our chain through the middle of our disc. And then dropping everything today. All right, and then we're just going to go through the outer loops of this chain, put them both on my jump ring here. All right, so now you can kind of see how it would have lots of movement. Making this a little long, but you know what? We can shorten it up. And then I am going to connect it to the center hole in my multi-link or whatever, my chandelier link. And again, I am closing that nice and tight. So now my bead is hanging on the chain from the center of that. And I thought, like I said, we would put I don't know if, let's see, it's long enough. Probably not. All right. It says I was going to do multiple beads. Trying to decide, you know, if I want to do these two separately, you know, and then connect them so they're everything has movement, or if I want to do them as one. I'm almost thinking separately, in which case I'm going to cheat, and I am going to use this bottom bead with a crystal. So I'm kind of like designing a pendant again today, but it's going to be my dangle off the one end of my lariat. So all right, so we've got that loop. Since we're going to connect directly to this, so wrap that, tighten it a little. All right, so we've got a little charm there. Now let's hook our square bead. And I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to connect to this one we just did. Using just some 22 gauge wire here, partly because it's easy. I wasn't sure I was going to make my own head pins, and just don't want it to be that thick. My gemstones fortunately have pretty good holes in them, so it's not a problem. All right. Now we're going to attach that also to the multi I guess it really doesn't matter which side because I don't have a front or a back. But I'm going to attach something to both sides, so I'm sliding that loop onto this Yep. There we go. All right. little awkward to hold on to while I'm wrapping my... See if I can get a good grip on that. It's a kind of an awkward angle today. I didn't really think about that. I might have been easier to make loops and hook them with jump rings, but then you know, then you're introducing another thing that can fail, right? So wire wraps are always more secure than jump rings. Okay. So let's look at that now. We've got 2 dangles. All right. I'm thinking this other one maybe just the single bead. What do you guys think? All right, so here's what we're working with. I don't know if I can get this to lay nicely on my hand or not here. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna put this bead there. Question is, does it need a friend? So the friend can be either this kind of burgundy cube, or I have these little green crystals. So just the stone in the cube, or stone in the crystal. Anybody have an opinion on that? Use that one. That one's more green. No opinions? Or all of the above. I guess I could. It would definitely be a longer dangle. I could do that. All right, let's try that. I am, because I only have long head pins, or do I have some shorter ones? I'll switch up my head pin on this one since it's a smaller bead. Still too long. I like to have a variety of lengths of head pins around because I don't like to waste you know, waste it when I don't need all that length. My short ones, remember, are those steel ones that are just too hard to work with. Put that out of the way. I have them sitting here. I haven't brought myself to toss them yet. So I'm thinking, as long as I'm not on the camera when I use them, I can make them work. All right, wait, no, come on. There we go. All right, get that tucked in. I love the, I know you guys can't really see it. I'm trying to keep it under the light, but under. Yeah. Oops. Trying to push my camera back a little so that it's getting more light, but I went too far. Oh well, you'll get to see it when I take the picture in the to post, because it's just a really pretty stone. Oh yeah, that's certainly can work. I do sometimes keep them if they're long enough. I just realized I have a little cup over here that I use to collect my trash, and apparently I had one of those days where stuff went falling all over the place, you know, and apparently it broke my little cup, so I have to replace my little trash collector. Get this guy moving here. Yeah, I used to have some really smart or small ones, and they were great for, like, if you wanted to make a bunch of little tiny dangles, which I used to do with like pearls. And yeah, I completely forgot. I also have some burgundy pearls that I was thinking about. Maybe we'll put a couple of those in the chain. All right, so let's see how this one looks. It's the darkest one. I was going to use that darkest one, but it's misshapen. I will admit that my little cube strand was from the cheap bin at the bead show, which usually means, you know, there's some, you know, some mistakes in those beads or damage, but they're still pretty and they work for a lot of things. So sometimes I buy a few of the cheapy strands just for trying things out. And sometimes you get some really decent strands, you know, like there's one left, and so they'll stick them in the discount pile. Sometimes you luck out. All right, now this one's got to connect to our little connector there. Make a bigger circle. Cut that. See if this is more. Hey, we got it on a little easier. Now I just got to see if I can hold on to it while I finish wrapping that. Let's remember, wire wrapping is part of our requirement today. Of course, I like to wire wrap, so. All right, let's see if I'm using that. Looking a little crooked there. Janelle, enjoyed your plant spike. The octopus. I have some of those octopuses in silver that I've had for a while. Keep thinking I'll do something with them, but I haven't. All right, now we have our dangle for our necklace. All right, so let's see what okay, so I want, this will be hanging through the loop. You guys think I should use the big loop? Or is that too much? Should I, since I have this, kind of lengthy dangle. So just use the small loop. For the moment, we are going to, I'm going to take another one of these cubes here, and I'm going to use it in a wire wrap onto the chain here. I just didn't want to use one of the big beads there, since I've already got something fairly weighty. All right. And I'm just doing this since I got to attach it to the chain, right? So it makes it for a more secure attachment. And like I said, my between the beads and the crystals, this thing has weight, because that disc bead is a little weighty. Alright, that goes aside, and I am going to attach this to the end of the chain. All right. I'm sorry, I'm working off my screen today because I'm not looking at what I'm doing here. All right. So, a couple choices on what I could do here now. So I've got my dangle, and it's on the back of my chain. Now, I don't necessarily have to have a loop, right? So I could just take the other end of the chain once I decide how long I want it, and I could attach my my lobster there, and then I can just attach the end to whichever part of this chain, you know, to make the necklace hang how I want. Or I can force this to hang through, you know, through a loop, which will then attach the other end of this chain to the loop, obviously. What do you guys think? Do I need more color on the chain, or do you think just this hanging down through the loop on a plain chain is enough? Okay, I'm going to use this smaller loop, actually. Let's do the loop. Now, let's see. I don't know how long I want to make this chain yet. I need to decide if I'm going to use through the loop. Okay. If I'm going to do any other things. I can't remember if I can attach this to... So sometimes what I've done is I attach the chain onto like the loop. Okay, we're going to do the loop. Get that one out of the way. I think if I add any color here, it's going to be one of these. So, question is, how long do I want this? So remember, since it doesn't have a no, I don't have to use a clasp. So the only reason I was thinking of putting the clasp on there was so it wouldn't just slide all the way down. But let's see. I'm going to all right. I'm just making a guess here based on throwing it quickly around my neck about how long I want to make this. And I will find my ruler here and we'll see how long I made it. I've been cleaning up my desk, so that's why I can't find my find my ruler. But here it is. All right. So I cut 12, 24, like 20, 26 inches of chain, which may be more than I need, but especially if I wanted to put some color on here. So I was thinking of putting some of these I'm going to wire wrap a few of these to attach the loop to the chain. All right, where'd my All right, so I'm just going to take a couple of these little rondelles. And we are going to make a loop to attach to our loop. All right. Now I don't need a clasp as long as this is long enough to fit over my head, right? So. And then we're going to attach the other end to the chain. We're just wrapping that there. All right, so what I can do now is just, stick this chain back through here. Uh-oh. Oh no, is it not going to fit? My dangle won't fit through the lid. And actually now my... All right. Gotta be a way to make this work, right? So yeah, I should have had it through the chain. So I may have to take something off, but I was actually thinking I might so I could cut the chain and put something on it. And that way I can stick it back through. That's what I should probably do. All right, so I think we will cut this real quick. And we'll do a quick link once we've stuck it through the loop, right? All right, so stick one end through the loop, right? And let's just do a couple more of these little rondelle doohickeys. Yeah, the chain's through the loop now. So we'll attach one end here. But the chain, I forgot about, I knew the chain would fit back through the loop, but forgot when I added to it that had to fit through the loop too. It happens, so. All right, so that's through the loop. And then we'll attach this back to our dangle. And it will fit through. It should fit through the loop if I want to pull it tighter. So I'm feeling this may end up being a little long, in which case we may have to add another section of wire wrapping so we can cut the chain, but we shall see. All right. You guys are keeping me honest out there, right? All right, so now got my loop, and this can all sit there on the loop. So if we want to keep this, you know, from sliding all the way back up, I'm putting it on to see what. Okay, Janelle, I'll flip this around and let's look at what we're messing with here, okay? So here's what it looks like, and, you know, this just can slide back and forth. Now, it may stay or it may slide up, you know, and I'm going to have to constantly adjust it. If I decide I'm having to adjust it too much, I can hook the lobster clasp onto this loop and then just, you know, clip it onto the chain so that it stays at a specific length, right? So that's how we can work with a necklace like this. So I actually think I'm going to need to, because my stuff is kind of heavy, I think we'll need to put that lobster on there. So let me flip it back a minute. And I'm just going to use a jump ring to attach the lobster onto there. And that way you can kind of set the length to whatever you want it to be, right? Yeah, what I probably want. Pulled out a big jump ring. I think I want a smaller jump ring. As long as the small jump ring will fit around the loop. Actually, it probably won't. I am just a mess today, guys. Sorry. All right, we'll go back to the bigger one. It just looks so big next to my thing here. So, like I said, I'm just gonna stick that jump ring on the loop. And then I'm gonna put that lobster on there. I don't think that's a beautiful closure, but that's okay. And now I can just take the lobster, and like I said, I can just clip it on on the chain, and it'll help hold this at a, set length. And keeps my dangle through there. All right. So let me undo that. We'll put it on a model for you, and then I learned that little trick from Kay over at Stars Beads, of using the lobster to hold your necklace wherever you want it to be. Right. Sorry, I can't see. It's hard to see what I'm doing. It's too close to me. Probably picking a spot. I think I really need to be in front of a mirror to do this, but what are you doing? All right. Clearly. Oh. I got the loop on the, or the lever stuck on the jump ring. All right. Flip around one more time. And we are done. All right. So with that on there, and it's kind of dangling down a bit, but I have just the lobster hooked onto there. It mostly blends, and then I don't have to worry about my necklace moving up and down, since, like I said, that's kind of heavy. Not sure that's where I would attach it, but I'll move it. Like I said, I think I need to be in front of a mirror to do that. All right. Thanks, guys. That was our lariat necklace. And we used wire wrapping. We did lots of wire wrapping today. We used burgundy in, these are kind of burgundy, and then the blood part of the dragon's blood jasper has some burgundy in it. There we go. See it a little better from here. All right. And we used the multi to single connector. And like I said, if you have little chandelier earring pieces, those work great for that. Like I said, we used wire wrapping, and we designed it for a friend. So I used the Dragon's Blood Jasper because it's from Colorado, and I have lots of quirky friends in Colorado. And, we just made something a little colorful. So there we are. All right. So thanks again. I will see you on Sunday noon. Have a great weekend. And if you haven't already, please like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. All the videos are on YouTube once Facebook only keeps them for 30 days, but they will be over on YouTube. Hope to see you around, and have a great weekend. Bye.